If you're a parent, nothing wreaks havoc with your schedule more than a sick kid and the decision whether to send them to school.
Consumer Reports has some advice on how to handle 5 common child ailments. Valley News Team's Lisa Bedeau has our story.
Cough, runny nose, tummy ache. Every parent has dealt with a sick child, and often that means making a quick decision whether or not to keep their child home from school. When it comes to cold symptoms, if your kid has no fever, they can generally attend school, even with a runny nose or a slight cough.
The important thing to pay attention to is whether they're too sick to participate in activities, to pay attention and learn, and if they're so sick that it's going to take away from the teacher's ability to manage the classroom, that's when you need to think about keeping them home.
If your child vomited or had diarrhea once during the night, but otherwise seems fine before it's time to go to school, they ate a breakfast and is fever-free, it's reasonable to send them off to school. But if it happened more than once, it's probably best to keep them home. Get this. Kids miss more than 3 million days of school a year due to pink eye.
So the first thing you need to be concerned about with pink eye is whether your child's school has a policy, because many schools will actually require that you keep a kid with pink eye home. So that should be your first order of business. If you're not required to keep your kid home, the important thing is to make sure they're taking general precautions like washing their hands and not rubbing their eyes, and that will help prevent them from spreading it.
If your child has head lice, that may seem like a clear signal to keep your child home, but actually, if your child is being properly treated for lice, you don't need to keep them home unless it's required by school policy. As long as kids keep their heads apart and don't share things like hats, helmets, and combs, they should be fine. And finally, ringworm, a contagious fungal skin condition that's easily spread by sharing infected hats, combs, or hair barrettes. As long as treatment has started, your child should be able to attend school, but should be excluded from activities that could spread it, like using communal swimming pools or showers, and should not share anything that touches their hair or skin. Lisa Bedeau, Valley News Live.
To learn more on whether or not it's okay to send your children to school if they're sick, you can visit our website, valleynewslive.com, and click on this story.
Later in sports, the NDSU Bison tell us how past performances against Northern Iowa will shape this year's game.
Up next, local veterans pay tribute to an Alexandria man in Washington, D.C.
Tonight News, brought to you by Dakota Magic Casino and Hotel.
You're watching Valley News Live on KBLY, your hometown NBC station.
For a limited time, get 0% interest for 6 years at Home Furniture. Everything is on sale, and you can finance it free for 6 years. Plus, free shipping on purchases $4.99 or more. 0% interest for 6 years only at Home Furniture.
You want cash. We want your car. Corwin Public Wholesale wants to buy your vehicle. It's true. And you thought they just sold vehicles. Well, they do both. And Corwin Public Wholesale wants to buy your vehicle. If you own a car, truck, or SUV, if it's worth $500,000 or $50,000, any make, any model, any color, Corwin Public Wholesale will buy it. What are you waiting for? Get cash now for your vehicle. Corwin Public Wholesale off the I-29 Frontage Road in Fargo.
I see the violence.
No matter how much you love him, love yourself more.
Domestic violence hurts everyone.
Within you is the strength to overcome.
Abuse has no place in love.
Within you is the strength to leave.
You are a survivor.
Domestic violence, it's everyone's business.
In her TV ads, Heidi Heitkamp says she'll work with anyone. But it's not true. I'm a volunteer with the North Dakota chapter of Concerned Women for America. We work to end human trafficking, and we're pro-life. We've asked to meet with Senator Heitkamp over and over. There are some issues where we agree, but we're not welcome in her office. Heidi Heitkamp is so radical on abortion that it controls all of her service. Heidi just doesn't vote like North Dakota.
NRSC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Nothing holds more promise than a seed. And when it comes from Peterson Farm Seed, it's backed with a promise from us. We'll sell no seed we wouldn't be happy to plant on our own farm, so that growers like Mark can keep a promise of his own, to teach his kids how to care for the land, their family, and their community, and build a future that extends generations. Grow your promise. Grow Peterson Farm Seed.
Now at Home Sleep Express, get 6 years zero-interest financing on any Tempur-Pedic. Plus, Home will give you a $300 gift card, free delivery, setup, and a 120-night comfort guarantee. Tempur-Pedic with 6-year interest financing at Home Sleep Express.
Last night, Fallon had Bradley Cooper with a vocal warm-up.
Me, Sharona.
Tonight, there's Billy Crystal, Giselle Bundchen, and Quavo performs. New Tonight Show. Then Seth has John Mulaney. All new tonight.
In addition to the war memorials, several veterans on this latest honor flight of North Dakota and Minnesota this week spent time at the individual memorial of a fellow veteran. Veterans from the Alexandria, Minnesota area paid special tribute to a friend who was killed when a plane hit the Pentagon on 9/11. Max Belke was working as a civilian employee at the Pentagon, dealing with veterans' issues. He went to the high school with many of his veterans who were on the honor flight and was a respected soldier serving in both Korea and Vietnam.
He's a great guy, really, you know, and he done a lot of work for veterans. He was, and basically that he made his life, what do you say, was a career working for veterans. So naturally, I'm a veteran. I appreciate that, you know. So he's a good guy. Yep, he's a great classmate, you know.
There's also a veterans clinic in Alexandria dedicated in Belke's name.
Police on UND's campus are thinking pink this month. 2 of their vehicles are wrapped in a pink design supporting breast cancer survivors and those still battling the disease. Officers say the vehicles' pink hoods symbolize a true community partnership because the wraps were designed and installed by local businesses for free.
I thought it'd be a great opportunity and to partner with some local businesses to get our hoods wrapped in something that shows our support for both survivors and people that may be going through that right now.
It's also personal for the department. Officers tell us one of their own is fighting cancer, so they made sure his car was one of the ones that got wrapped so he could see how much the department stood by him. This is the first time campus police have wrapped their vehicles for breast cancer, but they already say they'd like to expand their efforts next year.
Remember to like Valley News Live on Facebook. You can follow the latest news, weather, and breaking news updates anytime on your feed. Just search Valley News Live, like our page, and you'll stay informed throughout the entire day.
Northern Iowa's on the horizon for the Bison.
First road trip of the year comes already as we're into October. We'll hear from the Bison, specifically one player who had a pretty good game against them last year. That's next in sports.
Today's news.